Good morning, everybody. Yay! Welcome back to Sights and Sounds with Minister Matt. Whoop, whoop. Sights and Sounds with Minister Matt. You say it. Sights and Sounds with Minister Matt. Whoop, whoop. Yes! Welcome. Good morning. How are you? I am so happy to see you. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I'm happy and I love you. I don't know. Hi. Welcome to another Sights and Sounds with Minister Matt. I am so happy. I am so excited to have you with me another Sunday morning. Yes, this is another ministry, a part of Impact Children's Ministry of the Latter Glory Church. And I'm so happy that you decided to join us today. And I'm sure your mommies and your daddies are around somewhere. So, hi, mommies. Hi, daddies. Thank you for letting your beautiful children join us today for another Sights and Sounds. So, you know what Sights and Sounds is. Sights and Sounds is a time for us to pick a word or a name or a place from the Bible that might be a little hard to say, but we're going to learn how to say them and we're going to learn more about whatever we chose out of the Word of God, that special book, the Bible, because you know that's the book for me. And so today is no different. We're going to choose a very special word, and this word just so happens to be a name. There's a name in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, and actually throughout the whole Bible that we want to learn about today. You ready? It's this special name. His name is Abraham. Yay! Abraham. Can you say that with me? Abraham. I can't hear you nice and loud. Abraham. Okay, it might be a little hard, so let's break it down like this. You ready? Abraham. You do. Abraham. Are you clapping? Abraham. Yay! Yes, that is his name. Abraham is our special character from our special book that we're going to talk a little bit about today. Are you ready? I have a special video. You know, Mr. Minister Matt. This is our special video about our special friend with a special name, Abraham. Let's watch it and then we'll come back and talk more about Abraham. You ready? Here we go.
God's promise to Abraham. So part of God's story is about a promise God made to Abraham, and it begins like this. Once there was a guy named Abraham. He had a wife, Sarah. They didn't think they could have any kids, which was a major disappointment because they really wanted a family. But little did Abraham know that God had a very special plan for him. When Abraham was 75 years old, God promised to give him kids, and one day God would send the rescuer through his family. All God asked was that Abraham and Sarah leave their home first and follow him. Now, they had a tough choice to make. Leave all their friends and trust God, or stay comfortable. This was not easy. See, Abraham really wanted kids, but was already pretty old. Sarah was getting up there too. Not to mention, she had never been able to get pregnant. So if Abraham and Sarah were going to leave their home and trust in God's promise, they had to believe that God would do something that seemed impossible. The good news is, they decided to trust that God would keep his promise. That's always the right choice. So Abraham and Sarah moved from their home to a land called Canaan. Right away, God reminded Abraham of his promise. He said, "I will make your children like the dust of the earth." Can specks of dust be counted? If they can, then your children can be counted. This was God's funny way of telling Abraham he would have a lot of kids, because nobody can count every piece of dust. Well, this promise seemed great, but after a while, Abraham and Sarah still had no kids, let alone as many as the pieces of dust. Now, they were really old. Sometimes God doesn't remind us of his promises because he wants us to learn to trust him. But God took Abraham outside at night and told him to look at the stars. He reminded Abraham that he would give him that many kids. So Abraham decided to keep believing God. He and Sarah waited again. After more years, he got impatient. This time, God told Abraham, by next year, Sarah will have a son. But by now, Abraham was 99 years old. He and Sarah had both given up on having kids and God's promise. In fact, when Abraham told Sarah what God said, she laughed. It's probably not a good idea to laugh at God's promises, but Sarah was tired of waiting and had stopped trusting. The great thing is, even if we think it's impossible, God really does keep his promises. And just like God promised, Sarah got pregnant the next year after Abraham's 100th birthday. When her son was born, she named him Isaac, which means laughter. Sarah said, "God has given laughter to me. Everybody who hears about this will laugh with me." And think about it. A really old lady having a baby is pretty funny. God kept his promise to give Abraham and Sarah a son. Even though they didn't think it was possible, it was easy for God because he can do anything, including giving old people babies. And remember how God was going to give Abraham as many children as the stars in the sky? Well, Isaac grew up and had children who had more children who had more children. This kept going and going and going. And guess who eventually was born in Abraham's line? The rescuer himself, God's son, Jesus. All because Abraham followed God and trusted God to keep his promise. And that's the story of God's promise to Abraham. So in case you missed it, here's the quick version. Abraham and Sarah were old. God promised to give Abraham kids. Abraham and Sarah waited. They got impatient. God reminded them he keeps his promises. Abraham and Sarah waited more. They got impatient again. God told them Sarah would have a baby. Sarah laughed. She had a baby. Jesus was eventually born into their family. God always keeps his promises. And that's a part of God's story.
Yay! Yes, that is an amazing story. Did you like that story? Yeah, I did too. It is so good to know that God can do anything. Can you say that with me? Say, God can do anything. Yay! And that's the story of Abraham. Abraham had faith. What is faith? Faith is believing in God. Yeah? Faith is believing in God that he can do anything. And that's what Abraham teaches us, that if we have faith, that if we believe in God, that if we believe his promises in his special book, that nothing is impossible, that anything is possible if we believe in God. And I want you to go away from this a lesson knowing that your God, the God that lives in your heart, Jesus that lives in your heart, can do anything in your life. And you never have to be afraid and you never have to doubt if God is going to keep his promises. If he said he would heal us, he's going to heal us. If he said he'll give us everything we need, he is going to give us everything we need. Because just like Abraham, we're going to have faith and trust in God. Yay! One more time. Let's say our special name, Abraham. You say it. One more time. Abraham, your turn. Yay! Abraham. Abraham is an amazing man of God, and he taught us so much today about faith and believing him. Well, that's it for me today. That's all my time. And I hope you enjoyed this time we had together. Make sure you go and tell your mamas and daddies, hey, I learned about Abraham. Yay! And Abraham is going to continue to teach us as we go forward in life. All right. We love you so much. Have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Minister Amy loves you. Minister Matt loves you. Pastor Derek, Lady Shimon, we all love you so much. And we can't wait to see you in person. I want you to do me a favor, okay? Put your arms out like this. Wrap them around yourself and squeeze. Yes, because that is all of us at Latter Glory Church giving you a big, big hug. All right. We love you so much. We'll see you soon. And don't forget, we have church today, 12 o'clock. Make sure your mommies and daddies get you all dressed up and bring you to the house of God because we have something super special for you today. Get ready for our Sunday glory encounter. And all you teenagers out there, maybe babysitting right now, 11 o'clock. Elevate Teen Ministry has something special for you today, okay? We love you guys. Have a glorious day, and we'll see you in the sanctuary. Bye.